In this video, we're going to talk about the medium armor professions and which one you may want to play. Naturally, with Guild Wars 2, most people will say, just play them all, but if you're limited in time or prefer to find a main, I hope this video can help you. First, a quick introduction. We are Project Dyad, a married couple that loves to game together, and we absolutely love Guild Wars 2, and we're happy to share that with others. As with the last video, we will be talking about 3 different professions and their 3 elite specs each. You will start as a base profession, and once you hit level 80, you can start investing hero points to unlock the spec you enjoy, or all 3 if you prefer. So let's take a look at them. First, we will take a look at the Ranger. This is M's favorite class and her current main. Ranger professions focus around their pets. These are companions that you can go and find in the world and tame. Rangers have a fairly large variety to their skills, from laying traps for enemies to summoning nature spirits or destroying their enemies with command skills to boost their pets. Rangers have 3 elite specs. They're the DRUID, the SOULBEAST, and the UNTAMED. First, we have the DRUID. The DRUID is the support spec for Ranger. It gives them access to the staff and glyphs. It also unlocks the Astral Force mechanic, which allows them to become a celestial avatar. This replaces your skill bar with a ton of healing spells and supports, but it also augments any glyphs that you currently have equipped to be healing and support skills as well. The SOULBEAST is a very fun DPS spec for Ranger. It gives them the ability to merge with their pets through a beast mode mechanic. This will take your pet off the field and instead give you buffs and access to new skills depending on which pet you have out. SOULBEASTs also have the ability to use Dagger in the main hand, which brings a ton of conditioned DPS as well as stances. Lastly, for the Ranger, we have the Bunny Thumper, the Untamed. This spec gives your Ranger access to hammers and cantrips. It also gives you an Unleash mechanic, which allows you to pass a buff back and forth between you and your pet. Untamed can have very good survivability due to their new skills, which can offer boons and protection. Next, we have the Thief. The Thief is a very fun and mobile profession. This profession will fill that assassin and stealthy playstyle role for you that you may enjoy. Their profession skill is Steal, gives them the ability to shadow step to a target and gain a random makeshift weapon to use. With Thief, you will be shadow stepping around and causing mayhem. They don't have standard cooldowns for their weapon skills. Instead, they use Initiative, which means they can spam skills for high burst, then they have to wait for them to recharge. The Thief has 3 elite specs: the Daredevil, the Deadeye, and the Spectre. The Daredevil is a really fun but also super unique spec, as it lets the Thief use a staff, but they use it to smack their enemies unlike the other professions. Daredevils are insanely agile, and they use their dodges to increase their DPS by slamming down, throwing daggers, or simply giving them a long-range dash with quickness. This gives them access to physical skills as well. Deadeye as a spec just works so well for Thief. It changes them into deadly snipers who use rifles and cantrips to defeat their enemies. It changes their Steal ability to Mark, which singles out an opponent and generates Malice against that opponent. Malice is a resource you gain by doing damage to a marked enemy, and then you can unload it by using a stealth attack. Spectre is the newest elite spec for Thief, and it's vastly different from the rest, as it gives them the ability to cast wells and enter a shroud form, similar to the Necromancer. They defeat their enemies with the use of shadow magics, but at the same time link themselves to allies to provide heals, shields, and boons. They gain access to scepters, which gives them ranged magical attacks that can target enemies or allies. Last up, we have the Engineer. This is a profession I didn't think I would absolutely love as much as I do, but I can't get enough of it. Base engineers don't have access to a ton of weapon choices, but they have a wide variety of engineering kits, which replaces their skill bar with grenades, bombs, or even a flamethrower. They also summon immobile allies in the form of turrets. Engineer does start out a bit slow feeling at first, but they have easily the best variety of elite specs in the game in my opinion. They can become a scrapper, a holosmith, or a mechanist. First, we have scrappers, and this is one of the absolute best specs in the game in my opinion. They use hammers and gyros, which creates wells around your character. Scrappers are amazing as support, DPS, or even just tanks. They gain access to a tool belt skill called Function Gyro that we affectionately refer to as the Res Bot, and it's crazy useful and you can revive multiple people at once with it. I honestly cannot say enough good stuff about Scrapper, you just have to play it and you will love it. Holosmith is a spec that focuses mainly on DPS. It gives engineers access to swords as a main hand weapon. They use a unique mechanic called Photon Forge, which lets them use holographic weapons and pads, but causes them to heat up. Gaining heat also causes them to do more damage, but they can ultimately overheat and have a cooldown placed on their Photon Forge. The spec is very fun for players who like to manage resources. And last up, we have the Mechanist. This is a spec that allows NGs to use maces in their main hand and also summon a massive mech to help them. They are able to use signets to buff themselves and their mechs respectively. Their tool belt skills are replaced with abilities for their mech. The mech is able to be a DPS bot or even as a support bot that can remove conditions, break stuns, or provide boons. This spec is super versatile and you can honestly do anything with this one. Thank you all for taking the time to watch this, and hopefully you saw a profession that just feels right for you, whether it be an aesthetic or even the playstyle. We do stream 4 days a week over on Twitch, so feel free to check us out there if you have any more questions, but with that said, we will catch you next time.
I guess that I was hoping I could break your